now they're talking about he needs more experience. What planet is everybody on here?
This is Jonathan Agger, fifth Pro Boxing Fans, joined by Frank Warren here at the Dubois media workout ahead of his fight next weekend, Frank, against Oleksandr Usyk. He looks to become an all-time great, let's be honest, if he dethrones Oleksandr Usyk. Why does he win next week in Poland?
I believe it's his time. I think he's a young guy. I think he's a guy who's got the bit between his teeth. He can punch with both hands. He's got a fabulous jab. He's got speed, as I just said, and I believe he's got the self-belief to do it. He really fancies the job, as I do, and I think he'll come through it.
Coming from sort of, all champions have to go through adversity if they want to become champion. He obviously had that fight with Joyce, which didn't go his way. What do you think how do you think he's developed since then, leading up to this opportunity?
Well, he sustained a terrible injury in that fight, and it was a competitive fight while it lasted. I just feel, he's older. What was that fight? It was in COVID, the lockdown. Was that a couple of years ago now? He's had a few fights since then, and I think he's learnt more. And I just feel that he needs now to be let off the leash. He needs to be involved in a fight that's going to challenge him, that's going to bring the best out of him. And to fight, to fight Usyk, who's the second best heavyweight on the planet at the moment, I think is a great test for him.
As you would have seen, Frank, very few are picking him to win this fight. John Fury was asked about it, and he said he's not sure about Daniel's mentality heading into such a fight like this. What would you say about people questioning his mentality?
Well, look, his temperament, we're going to see what it is. He's going into the Lion's Den on the 26th. It's in Poland, but it's full of Ukraine. It's a Ukraine area as far as refugees are concerned, and it'll be full of them supporting their man. So he's going into the Lion's Den, and we'll see about his temperament. I think he has the temperament, and I think he has the wherewithal, and I think he has the heart to win it.
What does he have to do differently than Joshua did in those two fights?
Fight.
Anything else?
Well, that's what he's got to do. He's got to fight. He can't be backing off him. He's got to go and he's got to control the fight. He's got to get behind his jab, and he's got to control it. He's got to use his physical attributes, not be out-jabbed by the smaller man.
Any chance that Tyson Fury's ringside next week?
I don't know. I doubt it. He's got quite a few things. They launches tomorrow his Netflix series, so he's quite a man in demand at the moment.
Just carrying on with Tyson Fury, you described, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I saw the quote, you described it as the biggest event you've ever been part of. You have promoted Frank Bruno, Prince Nassim, Joe Calzaghe. Why is this the biggest event then?
Because it's a crossover. It's a unique event. It's a fight, and it's, as I say, they're both of them are the best of their respective disciplines. And I think come the time they step into the ring, this fight's going to be on everybody's lips. Everyone will know it's going on. It's going to be massive.
Obviously, everyone's had their opinion on it.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled whether they want to watch it or they don't want to watch it. But believe you me, there's a big world out there of people who do want to see it, and they want to see it because we haven't got these two guys together yet. Once we get them together and we start promoting it, it's going to be something special.
How competitive do you think it's going to be, honestly?
How competitive? Well, I've got to be honest. I mean, I look at, for me, Tyson's the consummate boxer, and do I think that Ngannou's going to outbox him? No, I don't. Do I think he could catch him and knock him over? He could do that because he's a big puncher, a big puncher. And as far as power's concerned, I think they got him in the Guinness Book of Records as the hardest punching fighter out there. He can only win this, in my opinion, one way, and that's to knock Tyson out. So he's going to come throwing bombs, and that's why it's going to be exciting, because this guy is going to be trying to take Tyson out.
What would you say to people who say it's, like Carl Froch said, it's a load of crap and all we want to see is Fury-Usyk?
Well, of course we want to see Fury-Usyk. I think we accepted and signed for it last December with Skills Challenge, and they said they could Usyk wasn't ready for December, and they'll put it on again in February and April, but then they said they couldn't do it because the venue wasn't ready. So we signed for it. Tyson wanted it. We tried to make the fight in the UK. I hear what you're saying. People want to see that, but I don't. Everything's moved on from there. Not from us. We tried to make the fight happen, and now we've had an offer, or Tyson had an offer to fight Ngannou, and it's an interesting, intriguing offer. He's getting paid a lot of money for it, and it's going to be the opening of the Riyadh Festival, which is going to be something special. So we're all good to go. It's going to happen. And if anybody don't want to watch it, they won't watch it. But I'm telling you, it will break box office records.
Is a press conference scheduled in the next few weeks?
The press conference will be in September.
Just moving on, Anthony Joshua, what do you make of his performance? And people like Tony Bellew saying that he needs another fight before fighting Deontay Wilder.
Well, I keep hearing all these from these people about he needs experience. Even on the radio yesterday, they were talking about he had limited experience. He got the silver medal in the World Championships, Amateur Championships. I thought he won it, by the way. I thought he got robbed. 2 years later, he then fought in the Olympics and won the Olympics. In between that, he had all them tough qualifying fights to get to be picked for the Olympics, to qualify for the Olympics. So he's had a tremendous amount of amateur experience. He's had a tremendous amount of professional experience. He was world champion for 5 years, was it? 5 years? 5, 6 years, whatever he was world champion. And now they're talking about he needs more experience. What planet is everybody on here? I don't get that at all. I just don't get it. What he needed to do is he needed to have fought Tyson. I thought he looked pretty average. And the majority of the crowd who were booing obviously thought the same thing. At the end, he done what he had to do, stop the guy. We know he can punch, although that's the first stoppage he's had for, was it 3? Is it 3 years?
Yeah.
So 3 years, first part. It is what it is. The public going to keep buying into that.
Does he beat Wilder?
It'd be interesting if the fight goes on. Let's see if it goes on first. They're talking about next March for that, aren't they now?
Next March? Is it?
Well, that's what they're saying. They can't put nothing on this year, so it'll be next year. So if he fights him, is he going to stay inactive till then? And bottom line is it going to happen? I don't know.
Just lastly, obviously, we saw the drama between you trying to get on the TalkSport show with Eddie Hearn and Eddie Hearn apparently not wanting you on, etc. Eddie said on the show that he feels that there's some kind of bias when Simon Jordan questions you compared to him.
Did you see the podcast?
I saw bits of it.
Did he give me an easy time?
Not really. But
no, not really. That's it.
But do you feel that he questions you differently?
No, I don't. Not at all. I think he knows that. I think the difference is, I think with Simon is that it catches him out on things that he said. Like this. If you use the drug testing, for example, he's caught him out on it. What's he said all along? He said they kept talking about on the programme. Was it the Conor Benn fight? We within 36 hours of doing it, we changed our mind. I may have said the wrong things, but they were challenging it. They were talking about doing it elsewhere. All those. What happened to the first test then? And I think the reason he challenges him is because, again, what was put out after Conor Benn appeared before the committee, the recent drug thing, was about jurisdiction. They didn't say that. They said he'd been cleared to box. He hasn't been cleared to box. He hasn't had a hearing for the second test. He's had no hearing on determining whether that test is positive or not. There's been no hearing. Border Control, ring them and ask them. UK have not heard it. Nobody's heard it. That's just nonsense. And so he picks up on things like that, quite rightly, because no one else seems to. They're all pretty lazy, or they don't know what's going on.
Frank, appreciate your time. Obviously, Friday night, you've got Dennis McCann out in action. Just tell the fans what's going to happen in that.
Watch it. It's going to be a good show. It's all the youngsters, all our really good youngsters we've got coming through. A really good fight card. You're going to see some stars of tomorrow and hopefully some future world champions.
Frank, appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure.